Hi everyone, it's Maria. And you guys know how much I love planning and checklists, keeping track of things. So when I saw first the Plan With Me tag, Plan With Me book tag, I was so excited. So here it is. I thought I'll film this tag and I'll link the questions down below. And if you like planning and planning with me further, just subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. Thank you. So the first question is Payday, a book you would buy right now, cost doesn't matter. So I'd say I would buy a book called The Revolution of Marina M by Janet Fitch. And probably why I want to buy this book is because the book is starting off at New Year's Eve, right before the Russian Revolution, and it's really time of political and social turmoil, which really makes the book really exciting, because whenever there's a political conflict in the book and the characters find themselves stuck in it, it usually brings really interesting twists to the plot. Some of my friends read this book already, and some of them said that I might not like it as much as I'm thinking I would. But for now, yeah, that's one book that I would want to get. Okay, number 2, Pay a Bill, a book you would get rid of right now. And guys, sorry, I love all my books, so I can't really get rid of any of them. Number 3, Doctor Appointment, a book that makes you feel better when you're down. So, no doubt about that, it's a book by Danil, Granin, Into the Storm. And it's a Russian author, but all of his books are translated into English. And the book is about students, physics graduate students, and they are researching different atmospheric electricity phenomena. So one of the things that they do is they get into those small airplanes and they go right into the storm to measure the electric charges. And it turns out to be really dangerous, and unfortunately some people die. There's also romance, there are lots of side plot lines. It's a really inspirational book though, so I would definitely recommend reading it. And it does make you feel better because it's so positive, even though some bad things happen, but usually the author really drives this point that we need to stay positive if we're getting anywhere. Okay, number 4, Meeting, a book or series you felt obliged to read because of the hype. Okay, so this one would definitely be Harry Potter, because I'm a teacher. I teach mathematics to gifted children, and I used to work in mathematics camps for many years, and most of my students read Harry Potter, and they wanted me to put on Harry Potter movies for them when they had free evenings. And I haven't really read Harry Potter before I met with all of those wonderful students, and I knew about it, but it just I wasn't really drawn into that. But eventually I had to read at least the first part, so I did. And that was like a pact that I made with my students. I was like, okay, I will read the first part and then I'll let you know what I think about it. So that's a book that I read because of the hype. Okay, number 5, Lunch Date, a book series that you feel in love with because a friend recommended it to you. Yeah, okay, so for that one, it's definitely Geek LOve. So I'll actually pull it out from my bookshelf right now. Geek LOve. And I know there are a lot of criticisms about this book. So basically the book is about a traveling circus that's run by 2 people. So they're parents of kids with multiple birth defects, and those parents were using different drugs on purpose to produce kids with those birth defects. And those birth defects sometimes manifest themselves in physical form, sometimes in mental form. So some of their kids have extraordinary mental capacities. I won't give too much away. And this book is actually really dark at times. It's very sad. There's a love story in that book as well. And it's so heartbreaking, and it was recommended to me by a friend, and really I would say that's the book that I really love, not just because it was recommended by a friend, but because so many points, so many really sad points in it really resonated with me. Yeah. Next one, Work School Week, a book that was hard to get through. Okay, so recently my mom and I read a book, Gentleman from Moscow, and my mom was reading it for her book club, and I won't give too much detail away, but it was a hard book to get through because it describes the life of a gentleman from Moscow who was sentenced to spend some time in a hotel room because of literature that he read, which was illegal. And there are just so many discrepancies, like on day-to-day basis. They describe his life, they describe his setting, and there's so many cultural clashes and like small inaccuracies that really annoyed me and my mom. And probably we'll talk about this book in a bit more detail, but yeah, it was hard to get through just because of those small details that just didn't match. Okay, next one. Gym Day, a book that gets your heart pumping because it was such an exciting page turner. Okay, so I would say Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata was really a page turner. It's also a sad book. And some people would claim that it's at times a little obvious where the plot will be going, but the author really used the language that really, sucked you into the book and really made you live through it with the book characters. So that was a page turner for me. Okay, next one. Date Night, a book with your favorite romantic couple. Okay, so I would say Alexander Dumas, even though he produced books en masse and he produced so many characters, he has a lot of really interesting romantic characters. So I would say a couple from the book Duches of Demonsoro, or La Dame de Montsoreau, which is most known title in French. So the couple is Diane and Count Debussy, so his name was Louis, so Diane and Louis were a pretty cool couple. And actually it's interesting because they were one of those couples who hardly had a chance to actually date each other or to get to know each other. But their story is so, dramatic, so tragic, and so full of unknowns that I actually think that they're a pretty cool romantic couple. Okay. Number 9, Vacation, a book or series you would want to binge on if you had all the time in the world. So I would actually binge on all the books by Victor Hugo, and some of his books tend to be a little lengthy, and I regret a bit that, for example, I didn't have a chance to think about some of them for long enough, because what I usually want to do is I want to read a book slowly so I get time to think about it. And I would want to just go through Victor Hugo's books, read some of them again, and really spend time thinking about what he says, because every time you reread a book by Victor Hugo, you find out something new. The more you think about it, the more you learn as well. Okay, number 10, To-Do List. A book that you keep meaning to get but don't have the time for. So I would say it's Dostoevsky's Demons. Demons is considered a really classic novel by Dostoevsky. I haven't had a chance to read it in its entirety. I read excerpts from it. It does sound like something that I would want to invest some time in, but just didn't have a chance to. And it's not one of the books that you can read through really fast either. So it's not like a page turner, so you really have to read, think about it, so it's a bit of a dense read. But yeah, once I get the time, I would read through that definitely. So these were all the 10 questions, and if you're watching that, I would tag you. So I would really love to hear some of your thoughts. Please leave some comments down below, let me know what you think. Please feel free to leave suggestions for books. I always accept suggestions for books. I love reading books that got suggested to me by different people. So please hit subscribe, stay tuned, and see you later!